what are you about to hear is pretty graphic, so I try not to freak you out. I was very fond of Kate Butowski, Jimmy Two Shoes, and Leverets. But never had I heard about this one yet. I had seen Kid vs. Kat, yes, but something about that final episode, the cat went back, made me look at it differently. I went online to go to the Kid vs. Kat website and saw that the episode list was listed in season 3, but the show was in part 2 and part 2, and part 1 and part 2. The lost episode. That seemed to be cut from the series. This episode's numbers was episode 3, episode 27, and episode 28. The title was Split Personality. I had never seen Kid vs. Kat having a lost episode before. Why was it on there? How can I get a hold to it before somebody else does? Person who was the creator of the show, Al Battaglia. He was actually my uncle's neighbor, and I contacted him in a bar on a Friday evening. He was a little bit drunk. So I got the opportunity to ask him about the lost episode he made. I asked him about it, and he was intoxicated that he just smiled and said, I was in a dark place when I made the episode. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see my business crumbled before me. But when the IRS says you gotta go, you gotta go. I asked him if he could give me any more details on how to get to it in my possession. And he just wrote something down on a piece of paper and handed it to me. I looked at it, and it was a download link, which I not mentioned to do originally reasons. I'll explain it again. I went home after drinking a few shots with Rob, typed in the link in my laptop, and as I did this, my computer went crazy. It was the worst virus since the creation of technology. After doing the painstaking process of rebooting my laptop, I typed the link in my computer against him, and what do you know? It finally worked. As always, a black screen with purple text. Under the link text I clicked on, it was an episode of Kid vs. Kat. The intro was normal, but the title was different. It showed Coop and Kat staring at the viewer, looking upset with eyes narrowed. And that's not the stranger part. It showed Coop left side and Kat's right side all together, as if it was a half and half portrait in a dark and light background of who would look like heaven and hell. And music didn't help it at all. It was a creepy song played by a violin and piano. And Kat's side was holding a hatchet, so it was like it was two faces who were in separate sides, but the lines in the middle was making it look different. The song was from the title card, the show with school, and with Coop walking to school, all from Forland. He talks to himself, but what he said was depressing and sad. I can't take it anymore. If I do, everything I do is wrong in their eyes. It's almost as if Bootsville hates me in general. I mean, what did I ever do to them? As Coop says this, he sees school and glances down at his feet. I can't help it if I'm right about Kat being an evil alien. Every time I fight him, I get more and more punishments. And it's almost like his life goal is to drive me up my wall. I just don't want to deal with Kat anymore. I'm done with it, and if he doesn't care if I'm done with it, I might as well put the trigger on myself. Maybe that'll get his attention. I couldn't believe what I am hearing. Coop had finally hit rock bottom. I thought Coop had finally snapped and went into a depression. I continued to watch and see the rest of the episode. During school, Coop had gotten bullied, and Kat sneaks into the school to get Coop in trouble. He gets an elf in every single class he took. After school, Coop just stares at the ground in sorrow. He goes into the house to see Millie make fun of him for getting expelled from the school. Just shut up, Millie. I don't want to hear you're a bull right now. I don't want to hear it. He goes upstairs into his room. He stays quiet for the rest of the day. Cat enters the house from the back door, and Millie takes him up to play. Bert calls Coop about him being expelled. He was about to tell Cat about Cat in the school, but he just said that he would never believe him anyways, and about Cat. No one ever does. Coop, you know I love you, but what do you say about our cat? It's all eyes.
So, everything I say in like a script would need for attention? Do you have any idea how to try to protect you and the family from this purple gloom? How I sacrificed myself for this town? If those are scored to seek attention, then maybe you need to open your eyes.
Here's where Coop's eyes. Son, Bert scowls, and Bert says, I know you ruined your line to me, but it's not alright to blame the cat for your mishaps.
Mishaps?
Coop said,
Are you crazy? I should have gotten a humongous thank you. But no, you had to tie me and draw me out the room and force me to follow broken glass. Forced feed you? Coop, that's not what happened. I saw you hurting Mr. Cat. That's it. Now, you stop yelling at me and promise you won't blame the cat guy for your mishaps. Oh, so I'm now the bad guy, Coop talked about to his father. I thought you were there for me, but I know you were, that was wrong. I was wrong. You don't care about me. You care about that more sick freak than your firstborn child. You will pay for this. Coop just walked off like that. Just like that. I paused the video and sat there, thinking, what the hell did I just watch? I just saw Coop's first argument with his own father, which crossed him from stopping an alien invasion. I thought Kid vs. Cat was supposed to be everyone just got funny but polar, but what I'm seeing right now is absolutely depressing and very sad. I continue the episode and Coop. I continue the episode and Coop slams the door violently. That night, he just lays in his bed crying for the first time in the series. Sounded pained and pitiful. These were not tears of a child or she scrapes beneath. It was not getting what they wanted. These tears was of betrayal and sadness. He had his face deep in his pillow. He was been screaming if his face wasn't in pillows. He pounded his fist to the wall as he got up and as other holding a pillow to his face. To be honest, I was both unnerved and almost pitied him. He did not want to end up like this, anyways, being treated like a piece of garbage for just being a local hero. Coop threw the pillow off his face and just sat there with a heavy breathing. He was weeping and his face was red from crying. He got out of bed and just stared at the night sky. He saw a million stars and as the cat debuting from the episode the cat went back, beginning to cry. Cat heard this on the roof. He knew his plan was working. The next day Coop was fighting Cat and was suddenly taken by Cat commanders, giant robots. Dennis tried to save him, but got caught as well. And I can't recall the rest of it because it reminded me of the Cat went back part 1. They took the two to the planet, take it present, yada yada, so on and on further. Like I said, I didn't want to get any details on this one, so let me get to where it ends. And it's by the far most shocking. As they broke out, Coop and Dennis stumbled upon what is most damning thing I've ever seen on a kid's cartoon. They went on to a lab how to make all Catnibian soldiers. What? Coop, what is this place? I don't know. Maybe this is how these evil cat creatures are generated.
Coop is playing.
Coop
looked at the robotic skeletons of Catnibians
in a jar of catnip blend skin. It looked more like light purple liquid with dark purple spots on it. Dennis clearly wanted out of there. Out of this place as possible. This place is giving me the creeps. Let's just go. Wait, maybe there's the camera here. Coop said, if we get a photograph of this place, laboratory, maybe Boothville will believe us. Good idea, Coop. But this search for the camera kept pounced on them, and fight breaks out. Kazumara and the rest of the soldiers join the battle. As the fight escalates, Cat grabs the jar of catnip blend skin and gets into a throwing position. Coop, look out! Dennis Coop called out in panic. Cass throws it, but the lid of it was off during the fight. With Cat bumping into the table, Cat throws the skin on the right side of Coop's face. As the jar hits the wall behind, and Coop let out a gut-wrenching scream as skin burned into his flesh and skin. All the characters were backing away in shock, and so did Cat. He realized what he had done. Coop continued to scream and writhe in pain as the skin stinged and contorted right into the side of his face and upper body, into what I can recall as just like the right side of Cat's head. Coop accidentally knocked himself out by ramming his head into the wall in part one hands. I just sat there dumbfounded. I couldn't tell what I just saw, but I had to press on, so I watched the part 2. Coop was in a hospital. He was gladly back on Earth with Dennis, who was unharmed. Coop has been in a coma since the incident. And Bert was there, and so was Millie. This is when things go down. Bert was arguing with the medical professionals about something. Coop can hear them through his right ear, of course. He heard his father arguing about Coop and Dennis blaming Cat before starting to go a fight with Gaines. You mean to tell me my son was getting into a fight with some gangsters and you blamed our Cat for it? He hollered. That's what the young Asian kid told us, answered the surgeon. Bert turned to Dennis and said, Coop, I'm calling you your father, and you, Coop, if I don't want to believe what you just did, but first, you disobeyed me. Second, you have calling me the police for a former search party. Now I found on you in the hospital. You just don't listen, Coop. Do you? You're such a mistake. You heard me. A mistake. I knew I should have forced your mother to abort you. Coop was hearing this all this, just letting him soak in. Slowly, his mind absorbed the words. He felt that that rage. Sick, rich, dark, that syrup of raw, emotion. He wanted to scream to his father to tell him to shut up. That he was the one lying here. Half his face was burnt, disfigured, and distorted, all thanks to his father not believing about his son and about Cat. He wanted to ask why he wasn't there, why he went off to going shopping, or his haircut, or whatever it was just that he did those last years. He wanted to why he'd leave him with the Cat who just tried days before tried to obliterate him. And his friend, he wanted to know how care much about his punishment than the fact that he was lying in the hospital. However, there was still so much that he wanted to know as well. He wanted to know how much his father hated him. How much he saw him now as how did he put it, a mistake. He wanted to continue to swim in a deep pool of dark hatred. that was starting to form the raging anger. That was the new one. Before it was anger, then it was anger, then it was anger mixed with pleasure. But now it was anger mixed with hatred. And whilst he certainly longed to be free of it, while he was most certainly preferred the sense of love and concern he believed he was from him before, most certainly preferred the loss and the false love and concern he believed his heard from his before, also wanted to test it out a bit. He began to wonder how well did this new recipe blend when and how would it feel. Alright, let's hope it's not that bad, said the doctor. The doctor snipped all the bandages with a pair of scissors and let them fall off his face. Then Bert was in absolute shock and was in a fringe of fainting. Dennis jumped out at a chair and masked as the real. I couldn't tell what Coop looked like, since it was all inside Coop's eye view. What? What happened to my face? Coop asked, trying to figure out why they were suddenly panicking. Coop rushed into the bathroom and turned the lights on, and I saw it. The left side of his head and upper body, it was just not like Mr. Cat's. Coop just looks and touches his left cheek, and it had a wrinkly feel onto it now. Dennis puts his hand on Coop's shoulder. Coop, it's not that bad. Come on, man, cheer up. Coop suddenly jumped guns and said, Dennis with the sorrow-filled eyes, but just says nothing. The doctor looked up to him, and I know. It's hard, Coop, but I'm afraid that we get good news and some bad news. The good news is that you're due to an deformity. You're going to have to be homeschooled. It's better than just being a main topic towards school kids during lunch hours and recess. What's the bad news? Dennis asked. The bad news is that the doctor sighed. We can't get the skin off. Coop's face turned to shock. His heart sank to his stomach. I'm sorry, Coop, but the skin is immovable. It somehow possesses a great healing factor. Now, you have it. Your body is extremely durable. You'll be able to survive even nuclear explosions, electrocution, lose limbs, or even decapitations. What's your point? Asked Coop. There was shocked and a shaky tone to his voice. The point is that it heals on its own. We tried getting the skin off, but we did, though. We saw that the skin was now yours. We peeled it so much to see muscle and tissue underneath. It's yours now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There was no joy from his father on the ride home. Upon our arrival, the Burger family spoke with very little, and there was a little tension that the car wouldn't fade out. As for he was thrilled that his friend was okay, but he didn't know what to say concerning the damage to his face. So after the few questions about the accident and the recovery, he fell silent as well. At this point, there was no music. At first, I thought my computer froze. They didn't do anything, simply just sat there in the vehicle. I was terrified to look, but I couldn't find myself. I couldn't stop myself. For what I felt an eternity, they walked into the Burger house and at the desk and Dennis asked about dinner. It's just they let Coop pick a place to celebrate his return home. Just go to sleep, both you boys, go to sleep, Bert remarked. He retreated to his bedroom and asked, to argue with Coop in the morning or feel sorry for him. Feel sorry for himself, you know. Coop and Dennis didn't speak much. Coop spent most of his time staring at himself in the mirror. He kept looking at the scars. Dennis wanted to see them too, but I felt that I might be imprudent to ask. I'm glad you're home, Coop. I really miss you, and I'm glad you're okay. Dennis said that, said to Coop as he stared at himself. I'm not Coop, Dennis. Dennis. And I'm not okay. Neither are you, none of us are really. There are sicknesses here. The only difference is now my sickness shows I'm not well. Coop replied. His voice was suddenly flat as well as the answering on the answering machine. What are you talking about? Dennis asked. One day you'll see him. You'll see it too. This is what happens. This is what happens when you fall. When the ball falls down. Coop's eyes still eyeballing the monster in the mirror. Coop, I don't want to know what you're trying to say. Dennis responded. Coop didn't reply, and after several minutes, Dennis left him alone. Dennis went down to Bert's room and knocked on the door. What is it? The voice of Coop's father asked. Mr. Bernberger, I think Coop is acting weird. You may want to talk to him. Come talk to him. Bert sighed in annoyance. Go watch some Captain Blaster downstairs. I will talk to him in the morning. In the meantime, I meant to say. Being young, Dennis had no other ideas, so he went downstairs and watched TV. He didn't know that those words were less words he ever heard from the Bernberger family. That night, Bert was awakened by Millie, said that Mr. Cat heard him coming down the stairs and was scared. Bert let out a tired groan and let Cat sleep in his bed. Hours later, the three awoke to see a small light coming from the doorway. The door was cracked open slightly, and light of source was weak. They could make out a half animal, half human shape, standing outside over the door. What is going on? Bert thought. As his vision came out on focus he put on his glasses. He realized that his son was standing before him. Bert reached over and flipped on the lamp. Next, Coop was standing there. He had his figure facing, beaming down on him with a long kitchen knife clutched into his right hand. What are you doing, son? Bert asked. His mind was trying to shake off the cobwebs of sleep. He got a knife, Millie screamed, grabbing at her father's arm. Millie kept his composure though. Millie's probably the painkillers. He likely got up and got this rented. Relax for peace sake. Coop tilted his head onto one side. Still not speaking, he stared hard as his father slowly bringing the knife up, ensuring that he saw I saw it as well. I couldn't look away. My eyes glued to the screen, not breaking the contact. Son, what are you doing? Bert asked. Scaring you. Coop replied with no emotion in his face. Voice. Do something. Millie pleaded. Okay, son, I realize you have been through a lot, but you need to go back to bed. I'm going to call the doctor in the morning. And Coop moved quickly across his head, the father's side of his bed. His head moving about, altering between a normal looking young man and a figure and looking in the shadows. Okay, son, you scared me, and is that what you wanted? Bert asked, adjusting the bed foot distance between him and the son. Good, now I can stop hurting you. Coop spoke to Ken with no emotion. His father had time to utter a single syllable. Most likely to another question, trying and reason with his son. Coop, however, gave him to do no more that Millie lunged out of bed. But Coop went after her. Millie attempted to find off Coop, but the wound of her misery rendered her into a shock, and her arm fell to the side. Coop could hear his father screaming, but paid no mind. He wanted to finish what his sister said. With his sister first. Removing the knife, Coop stabbed down into her stomach 3 more times. Quickly, his sister gasped and coughed up blood. Her jerked and twitched. The knife found its mark after the 3rd time. Millie Burdenberger laid skill. I placed my hand over my mouth and realized that the palm of my bleeding. What the hell am I watching? It turned in from a kid show to a splatter film. Bert had backed up against the headboard of the bed. He went to climb down, make a run for it, but he balled himself between the headboard and the end table, in frightened state of terror and confusion. He couldn't how to do something as simple as the mount of a bed. Why are you doing this to us? He asked pleadingly. Kat started it. You must have known that, but you ignored it. You must have seen that. You ignored it, but I also could hold again. But when you believe Kat, why so you really could fit in? Coop down asked in a growling voice. No, son, I believe you. I just went through my job, and we're doubting. Oh God, please. His butter failed. Butter begged. Tell me about how I'm upset, Dad. Tell me how I got to send out public because of my lies. Tell me how none of the kids would want to be my friend. How would the parents be yours? Tell me about that, Dad. Tell me a nice how it's gonna be, Mom, about boring me. Completed. I was stressed and I was about to be worried. I love you. I love you. Liar. I started again. Coop, you have 5 minutes. I'll call the cops. You have 5 minutes. Kat was there, looking upset, shocked and heartbroken. Coop is now fearful. He snapped into back to reality. He soaked his knife, trembling. Coop is now looking fearful, and now he snapped back into reality. He dropped his blood-soaked knife and started trembling. He looked at his body and his bloody hands, and back at Dennis and Kat. Dennis, what's happening to me? Coop's eyes began to tear up. I figured it out. When Coop began to kill Bert, he was totally like a different person. Someone who killed someone. To look at them. Someone who's crazy enough to blow up hospital fund. Someone who served the dark and vengeful God. And that someone was nothing but a personality of Coop's. Coop has grown his full personality. And that was the episode title. The episode had lived up to its name. Coop swung the front door open and ran down the street. Dennis tried to stop him, but it was too late. Coop had vanished into the night. It faced the black and red tight under the screen. Reading. No man can hide from their fears. As they're apart of them, they will always know where they're hiding. Then the tape ends. Then the episode ends. My vision was already blurry until I couldn't see very well. My face grew wet. I was crying like a baby. There was nothing I could do to hold back the tears. I was with this boy from the start. He fended off of as an alien invasion an evil cat invasion. Hung with his friends and had a strong relationship with his father. But then I was forced to watch this decline after many attempts to expose Cat to the world. Now he was this.
this abomination. I watched them go insane. Holding my tears, wiping my eyes, I closed out the call. Just sat there in complete utter silence. The next day I burnt the piece of the paper with the download link in fireplace. I didn't want to show this to the tank anyone else, obvious reasons. But the episode itself is still on my computer. It's stuck in there for some reason nowadays, so if you work in a coffee plant, you get paid every day. The first cat is now on YouTube. I highly doubt I'll watch it, but someone might stumble upon this episode alone somewhere